Welcome on into the bowels of Audi Field in historic Washington, D.C. My name is Luke Slabaugh. That's Judy Strawder. And this is Battlehawks Hub post-game live. We're presented by Hot Shots, home of STL Sports since 1990, by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, and by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Tonight, a 13-8 season finale win for the Battlehawks over the Defenders. And for the first time in team history, 8 wins in the regular season. Judy Strawder, how are we feeling?
On top of the world. Absolutely on top of the world. We did it. We absolutely did it. And we did. We came in to make that record happen. DC, I don't know about those folks. And I know they did not put all their starters in. And I know it was a messy start and a rainy game and yada, yada, yada. But the fact that Coach Beck said, we are not letting our foot off the throttle. We are making the statement too. We are earning our spot to play home field at the Dome. We did it.
It was a delicate balance for sure, because you're playing DC a week from now at the Dome. You don't want to give anything away. However, the ultimate goal is to stay healthy and to eventually get the win. Do we have someone over my shoulder? It's Coach Kyle Caskey. Kyle.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. You provide very good intel. Hey, while I got you, let's talk about Jarvian Howard. His performance tonight in a rain-soaked affair. What were your takeaways?
When the game looks like this, sometimes you just gotta, hand the ball off and make sure you take care of the ball. We had a few times we put the ball on the ground, unfortunately, on some special team stuff, but Jarvian did a great job. And so did Kevon Latulis, and the running backs. I'm really proud of this group the whole year, and they've stepped up when they needed to.
When was the last time you were witness to this slip and slide?
Oh man, it's been a long time. I've been to something like this. I can't even tell you. It was probably back when I was coaching college ball back in 2008 or something. I haven't seen anything to this extent. The storm here, I mean, it hit so fast and it puddled up so big. It was just tough.
I think Judy Strawder's got a question. Judy, toss it.
No question. I just want to tell you that you promised us that you were going to clean it up and we were going to win. And now we are 6 wins in.
He says that you promised that we were going to clean things up, and now a 6-game win streak. So you're a man of your word.
I told you we needed to clean up the turnovers. And so there's some times that we kind of, had our issues. But I'll tell you what, though, our defense is really getting the ball. We're taking the ball away from them. And, us on offense, we're really holding our own, and we just got to continue to do that for the next 2 games.
Safe travels home. See you in St. Louis.
Good seeing you guys.
Thanks, Coach Kyle.
That is the beauty of live streams and live television here on Sports Hub. Just you wait. The search engine optimization. Hey, Spencer. It's going to be great. Former Oklahoma State quarterback Spencer Sanders, I covered way back in the day, does not remember who I am. We are anticipating quarterback Brandon Silvers, who had a wonderful game. Sorry, were you going to say something, Judy?
Just in case everybody forgot, is happy belated birthday to Luke.
Thank you. Yes, I had a wonderful birthday in historic downtown Washington, D.C. And now we got to talk about Brandon Silvers before he potentially comes on this show. 6 of 8 for 105 yards, and really got the big daggers in before this 45-minute rain delay at Audi Field. One of the first plays from scrimmage was a 39-yard dart to Hakeem Butler, his impact play of the game, and then Jarvian Howard runs for 20 yards, able to punch it in, get the 1-point conversion, and really would have been the difference maker in this game considering the final score.
I mean, and honestly, it really was. Since we struck early, it was kind of hard for DC to gain any traction coming back. I mean, it was after that 47-minute delay, it was like we were restarting over, but we were determined to win today. It was very, very clear for so many reasons. I keep forgetting that the quarterback that they put in, that kid, like, he was just playing all, like, all the positions. He wasn't, yeah, it was not a team game. It was a him game.
What's interesting, and you bring that up, Mike DeLillo using his legs at
Yes.
quarterback for the defenders. No Jordan Ta'amu today, which was what we kind of expected. It certainly became a running game. And you saw that St. Louis got the short end of the stick early on when Brandon Silvers was forced to drop back and pass. They had that ugly safety there in the first quarter, end of the first quarter, I believe, made it a 7-2 ball game.
Yep.
It's they eventually were able to clean it up, and I would love to pick his brain about how they really did turn things around, because I think they dropped the ball 4 times. Luckily, didn't have anything happen to them there in those first 2 frames.
So that was the first safety in UFL history, period. And I know we're still early into the history of it, but honestly, like when it was obvious, the puddles on the field, watching them all slide around. I mean, yeah, okay, they got their safety, and yeah, they're going to get to go in the record books, but I mean, would they have gotten it had the field conditions not been like they were? It's kind of hard to say.
A very opportunistic defensive performance for the Battlehawks. We saw Carson Wells pounce on a fumble given up by DeLillo. Really the only time in the first half where the defenders were threatening in the red zone at the 13-yard line. Carson Wells pounces on it. And then Chris Garrett getting his hands on a blocked field goal there in the third quarter, if memory serves. This was an all-around performance from a team that is setting records. That is ultimately the headline tonight. 8 regular season wins for the first time in the Anthony Becht era, and they are bringing a 1 seed home next Sunday to the XFL Championship.
Oh my gosh, like I am just so excited about that. And so when their kicker in the fourth quarter tried to make I think it was, hang on, I don't know. It was a 44-yard attempt. And I knew immediately. I was like, they don't have the hot rod. They don't respect the specs. This is not going to happen. And it didn't. So that will honestly, and by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, actually by the time like 3 minutes into the third quarter rolled around, the field was no longer an excuse. So our special teams will be the difference maker next week when we win.
It'll be Rodrigo Blankenship versus Matt McCrane there. And Rodrigo, that was the one part of the game where I was, curious as to how it would affect the ball. But, Sterling Hoffrichter had a couple of short punts there on special teams. And Rodrigo now, I believe, finishes 21 of 22 in his first campaign as a Battlehawk.
Yes.
Pretty much everything that we could have asked for, and then some.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, they were even talking about with Sterling, the fact that the ball was so wet and the fact that he was able to catch it perfectly, laces out, and they were just giving him tons of props for that too. And I mean, I personally had a great time. Oh, yay, it's Brandon Silvers.
We are pleased to bring on quarterback Brandon Silvers in a 13-8 finish over the DC Defenders in Brandon. When was the last time you played in such a slip and slide, a severe weather type of environment?
Played in some rain before, but probably not this big of a slip and slide on the grass. I played in some really rainy games on turf, but probably not like this where the center's snapping in a mud puddle. So, it was fun for a little bit, and then it was like, oh man, this sucks. And then it was like, okay, whatever, let's just get the dub and get out of here.
What made the difference being able to hold on to that ball later in the game after a couple of uneasy drives?
Yeah, I mean, the first drive or two, when we got out from the weather delay, I mean, it was just trying to catch the ball and hand it off. And it was tough, but then the game goes on, and, it kind of dried up a little bit, but it was still wet the whole game. But at least like the puddles dried up, and, we were able to put a couple field goals together in the second half.
What do you say about your running back, Jarvian Howard, able to take that load as well as Kevon Latulis in a run-oriented game?
Yeah, and both of them played very well, and they knew we had to run the ball just like we knew they had to run the ball. So, hats off to them, hats off to the O-linemen. I mean, I hand the ball off a little back. They had a hole to run through every time. So, just key to O-line, just pushing through. Some of those guys haven't played, but the guys that come in and play like that, man, it's just hats off to them.
You finished 6 of 8 for 105 yards. How do you feel
Yes.
about the tape you've put on these last couple of weeks as Battlehawks quarterback?
Yeah, I just been feeling good. That's what I do. I drop back and throw it around a little bit, spin a little bit. I can't run like Max and those guys, but I enjoy
But
dropping
you
back
can
and
throw.
spinning around. So
But you
I've
can
enjoyed myself,
throw.
enjoyed my time with the guys. So that's all you can ask for.
Judy Strawder on the broadcast says you throw a beautiful ball, and we agree. 31-year-old out of Troy University in Troy, Alabama. Anyone you'd like to shout out here on the broadcast?
I just shout out my mama and my daddy and my Aunt Meta that's up in the stands.
What's the key for next week?
Hey, get Max in there and let him ball out.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
Thank
That's quarterback
you.
Brandon Silvers here on Battlehawks Hub Live. Thank you to Brian Stoll in the blue ball cap. This has been a fantastic time. And Judy Strawder, for the first time, do you want to try ad copy on this show?
Oh well, Ethan sent me all the stuff. I can give it a good go
I sent
around.
it to you over email. What are we talking about here?
Well, no, actually, it's in the chat. Yeah. I mean,
all
it'll
you.
be a whole thing.
Sell
All
this.
right.
Sell me on Lee's famous recipe chicken right now.
Ooh, Battlehawks post game is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Go try the Battlehawks box at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken today. Caw-caw.
We got more.
Yes, and then more. The next one is Sports Hub STL post-game shows are brought to you in part by Hot Shots, who invite you to come out to their St. Charles location on Sunday, June 1st, to celebrate their 35th anniversary. Woo! The fun starts at noon with a parking lot party featuring the Budweiser Clydesdales. Prizes will be given away all day. There's a dart tournament at noon, a bags tournament at 2, plus a chance to win Hot Shots tacos for a year. Congratulations to Hot Shots on 35 years. Hot Shots, St. Louis is home for all the games, all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. Also, mentioned it last week, they're also starting to do beer pong tournaments on Thursday. Battlehawks 365 is powered by Hot Shots here on Sports Hub STL, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play. $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
I believe the plan next week when we're both at the Battle Dome is just do this in tandem, do it together. And I killed it. Crushed it, Judy.
Right. How I am so excited for that. When I found out last week that you were coming, I got immediately like stupid excited. Not just crazy excited, not just kind of excited, but stupid excited. The fact that we'll be side by side, just living our best lives, watching the Battlehawks win, losing our minds with a Battlehawks win.
What stuck out to me tonight as we're wrapping things up in the next 5 or 6 minutes or so is just the number of guys who stepped up on a night where you could make the argument that business decisions could be made. In fact, that's the joke they were making up in the press box, was that with the rain, tornado watch, flood watch in DC, like you would see some of the Battlehawks curb their enthusiasm or curb up on their effort. But we saw Kyler Baugh make a nice sack. We saw Carson Wells also deflect a pass in the third quarter. We saw some all-out effort from these guys because there was pride, there was film on the line. This team is clicking on all cylinders heading into next Sunday's match, a rematch against the Defenders.
And that is absolutely correct. There was at one point earlier in the game where our entire starting O-line was in because Coach Beck said, we're going to play this game as hard as we play any other game. We are earning this. And he legitimately meant it. And I loved it because all the guys did. They came in and they played like crazy. And, Silvers really downplayed how well he did. We're talking about that slippery, wet ball. He passed it beautifully, just beautifully. So I was really impressed with him tonight. Do you remember that time, though, that I wished and hoped and wished and hoped and hemmed and hawed for 10 weeks? And I said, oh my gosh, can Cordero please play? Okay, well, my wish came true tonight. And I was like losing my mind at my house. And then he never snapped the ball. So, like, wish came true, kind of a letdown, but still, wish came true. I did
You're
have
talking
my
about
wish
Chevin
come true.
Cordero?
I did, yeah. My wish did come true tonight. He did get to
Um,
start for 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
I think under normal weather conditions, had there not been a 45-minute delay, they probably would have given him snaps in the second half early on, because the results of the game, while yes, it matters, and this always does matter, I think they trusted Brandon Silvers to keep composure and keep control of the ball. You don't want to put someone who's coming off of injury out there in wet conditions. So that's my takeaway. I had heard pregame that the plan was to play both. They had an entirely new O-line for most of the game as well. Donovan West playing his natural position at center rather than right guard. He played center back at ASU and played in high school as well. And for the most part, save for a couple of penalties, the unit seemed very disciplined.
Very, very, very much so. Also, we have to get a shout out to Donnie Abrams' son, Micah Abrams. He got that fumble recovery earlier in the game. That kid's just what's up. I think he's great, but I also kind of extra love him since Donnie Abrams is his dad, who I think is just an incredible defensive coordinator. But that was actually a huge play for us to get that. I think that's part of actually how the game carried so well is that every opportunity we were given, we took it. It wasn't like I don't want to say like we didn't we didn't try, but every opportunity that was given to us, we took it and we ran with it and we won. I mean, it was awesome.
This is Jarvian Howard.
Yo,
And you, my friend, had a
Jarvian
wonderful
Howard!
game. 19 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown. First and foremost, to be able to come out and give that effort in such unpleasant conditions. What's the key? What's the secret?
Man, when your number call, you just got to be ready. I mean, unfortunately, fortunately, I ain't gonna say unfortunately. Fortunately, I got this opportunity and I just had to make it happen. I mean, I've been playing in these type of environments and these type of atmospheres and climates since I've been in high school. So I low-key knew what was gonna come today. Like, I've been doing it, you know. So you just got to trust the plan, trust the process, take the plan on hand. Coach has been preparing me all week for it. I looked at the forecast earlier today and I said, perfect, delayed but not denied, so that's what we had to come and do.
When you think of the influences and the family back in Marion County, Mississippi, who are you doing this for?
Man, I'm doing it for everybody, man. I'm doing it for the whole city, whole state, LPT, man. I'm doing it for I'm from Lambton, so I'm doing it for where I come from, man. And I'm doing it for our running back room, man. Just showing that we got one of the best running back rooms they can possibly have, man. We got a three-headed monster, man. So if anybody could have touched the ball, probably would have got the same outcome. I mean, because that's what we prepare for. That's what we do it each and every day. At practice, we hold ourselves to a high standard. So it was me.
I was talking to your running backs coach, Kyle Caskey, before the game. He said the objective was to not give anything away for the conference championship next week and also get out healthy. How did the team fare in those respects?
No, we did. We did what we needed to do. Yeah, we did what we needed to do, man. At the end of the day, you know how it is playing team back to back. Regardless of what we gave, what we did show was effort. That's all we needed to show. At the end of the day, we got just pack the loo out, man. It's gonna be definitely a game for sure. But it's gonna definitely involve 60 minutes of just hardcore going after guys. I mean, it ain't gonna be no pushover. Just because you beat a team, that don't mean that it's gonna always be, what it is. It's not guaranteed, and nothing is guaranteed. You got to come out and you got to give effort every single play. It don't matter if the ball is coming to you or not. You got to do what you got to do.
And you've got the talent to be a primary back
Yes.
in this league, and they put the workload on your
100%.
shoulders. What does it mean to be able to don that RB1 title for this game and potentially beyond?
Just when your number called, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Jacob been preparing us all week. You know, hey man, get ready. Come on, it's time to go. It's time to get it. You know, at the end of the day, if Yvonne would have been in this situation, I mean, we would all lift them up to go out and do it. Like I said, when I seen the rain perfect, I mean, they don't want to tackle me regular, so they don't want to tackle me when it's wet, because it's just that.
I'll let you out on
And
this. You mentioned your teammate, Jacob Sailors. What kind of teammate is he?
Hard worker, man. Maybe some days I have to tell him to chill out. I mean, because, man, the dude going to give you 110% every day. The way he prepared for a game, I don't think people understand, like, what it takes. Because we roommates, and it's sometimes I be like, damn, bro, you got to get some rest. But, man, this dude prepare every day hard as possible, like, to make this happen. Like, he's one of them. He's one of them, like, he get a shot in the next level, when in doubt, he's gonna stick, man.
And you should get that shot as well, Jarvian. Thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Man, thank you so much.
Hey, will you tell him I
Of
think he
course.
did awesome tonight? Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, he really did. He really did play well tonight, though. I mean, when he said, "Oh man, the rain," I saw it in the forecast, so I knew my number was going to be called. He was ready, and I was really impressed with several things that he did. He even had this like one run where he got it, and then like he slid like on his belly. It was really fun. I mean, for a while, for a hot minute, it was actually just really fun to watch the guys play. They were a bunch of middle schoolers just out there on the field having the time of their lives.
It was kind of a slip and slide out there. Any thoughts that you have as we wrap things up here on Battlehawks Hub post game? Yeah, you're good. Awesome. Thanks.
No, as a matter of fact, Howard just said it. We tried. We put the effort in, and that no doubt is absolutely correct. DC did not. And their interim head coach last year had a losing record. This year, yeah, he's got a winning record. But hands down, we did put the effort in to win, and they did not. Even with, no, it was clear we were here for our 8-2 win. It's even clearer that we are here next week for our title win and our first time going to the championship. I am just beside myself. Oh, I had this really slick, like not so slick thing about the 8s. Because, Hakeem got that first catch. He's 88. And then Blake Jackson had a couple of good plays. So the 8s, they were all in it tonight. I just, these are the things that come to me while I'm watching the game at home. I thought it was kind of fun. But I actually, I loved the fact that while I was watching the game, I still knew a lot of players that were in. The effort was there. I love that we still passed the ball. And I think ultimately we know that I'm the happiest girl on earth that Cordero did get 4 minutes and 26 seconds of play. So
4 minutes and 26 seconds and potentially maybe kneeling the clock out in a championship style environment.
Actually, so glad you mentioned that. So this happened right at the second half. There was a thing, we were going to go ahead and let the clock run out. There was I think 43 seconds. It wasn't a lot of time. And we were just going to go ahead and let it run out. And then DC, they wanted to be like, well, we're going to challenge, we're going to mess with you. And, there's a saying out there, and I'm going to say it in the nice way, mess around and find out. And they tried to mess around. And then next thing you know, we drive the ball and get a field goal. So they could have actually we could have had 3 less points because of the conditions and everything else. The Battlehawks were just okay, we're we're just going to go ahead and run the clock out. And then DC said, well, we're just going to poke the bear. And then we said, all right, fine. Mess around and find out.
I'm with you 100%. I don't know if any of you saw the Gatorade tub fall behind me about 5 minutes ago, but I looked down at my feet for just a second and I was standing in like the biggest electrocution hazard that I could think of. Like I could have Final Destination to myself live on YouTube and you would not have known. Like,
That would have been
I'm standing in a
terrible.
water puddle right now.
Especially
I
2
can't
days
do it.
after your birthday.
Listen, I turned 31 yesterday. My life's been over for a year. Sorry, Ethan. That's really what happens. But yeah.
I mean, look, okay.
You're gonna play this
I won
back,
that
and so
challenge.
many Easter eggs.
Yeah. Yep. Your life is over after 30. Cool.
No. I mean,
You're
like, if you
normally the
find
most
purpose in life,
positive guy out there. You're the most
you're the
inspirational
world's
person.
greatest mom.
Well,
You
thank
got
you.
purpose in
Thank you.
life.
Thank you.
What am I doing? I'm man, that's crazy.
I don't know.
All
I
right,
mean,
we're
you're
good.
out there getting us. You're out there on the ground floor getting us great players. But you know what's awesome though is that we had KV on the show earlier, and he got a couple of great plays tonight. They were even talking about the commentators were that it's like, okay, he's getting this chance and he is making the most of it. And I loved hearing that because that was exactly what he was trying to convey to us, is that all I want to do is be able to show my talent and make it to the NFL. And, they were also talking too about the fact that since the game didn't technically matter, that a lot of players weren't going to be, out there and yada, yada, but that some players absolutely said, I have to be out there. This is my name. This is my name on my jersey. This is my chance to give my name to those folks in the NFL. I don't care. I don't care what this game means to anybody else. It means everything to me because I want to get back to the NFL.
And I think we need to start challenging the type of player that can make it in a league above this one. For a Kevon Latulis, for example, or even Jarvian Howard. Jarvian Howard is 5'9". Like I'm taller than he is, and he's got a lot more, muscle packed on him.
Right.
But it's one of those, yeah. Like he got his shot with the Packers. He was a training camp guy for them last season. And Latulis, he's kind of a smaller guy, but those guys have purpose and skill sets that can apply to the National Football League. And even someone like Brandon Silvers, I think they would be welcome in the camp. By the way, as an addendum to this, what did you think? Because I wasn't listening to the TV broadcast. What did you think of Chase Daniel?
He was fine. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't overly. It was good. It was great. It was good.
I can't slander Chase Daniel just because of his importance to my alma mater, the University of Missouri. However, I do watch that facility
I mean, he
show
is one of the biggest people to come out of Mizzou. But it's just like anything else in the world that you're new at something, you're a little nervous, you haven't gotten, all of your footing yet. But he did a good job, but he wasn't as versed as the other guys, but he's new. And that's just how it goes when you're new.
We're coming up on 30 minutes here on Battlehawks Hub post-game live. Any final thoughts looking ahead to next week? As we saw Taylor Thorne comment live on YouTube, he felt it was a sloppy game. The conditions were rather sloppy themselves. I wouldn't give a whole lot of credence to St. Louis playing an undisciplined game. Sure, they didn't score any points in the second half. That happens. I thought that they played a pretty tight game ultimately, giving up some of those small plays. They never gave up a play more than 20 yards. At least within the first 3.5 quarters. I was down at field level for the final 5 minutes, so I would have to go back and look at the stats. However, I thought this team played pretty tight considering the environment, considering the lack of stakes. I think this was a good one.
Agreed. I totally agree. I really think that that for the circumstances that they absolutely played a great game. And Luke, do you remember how I told you I was really superstitious and I wore the hat, and I'm not a hat wearer on Wednesday, and we won today. So I had to win I had to wear it again today. It's all coming together. I really hope to not have to wear it next week. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see where my superstition takes me. But Just kind of saying. Just kind of saying. Superstition
You are
is the way.
carrying this fan base on your shoulders, Judy Strawder. I'm just documenting history here. Documenting history and taking electrical shocks for the powers that be. Here in a historic Navy Yard district of
Gatorade.
Washington,
Gatorade.
D.C. I don't think it's Gatorade. I think it's clear. While I have you, on this day in St. Louis history, in 1954, the first drive-in movie theater and the only one ever within the St. Louis city limits opens. It would close 10 years later, but it was on 4300 South Broadway next to the City Workhouse, and now it's just a strip mall parking lot. You know how it is.
Yeah. That's a cool fun fact, though.
And they put on a show tonight. St. Louis continues to astound.
Woo!
Even
I'm
71 years
still,
later.
I mean, I'm absolutely just beyond myself that we did it. We're 8-2. We are no longer a back-to-back 7-3 season. And the DC Defenders are 6-4. Darn. Stinks to be them. But we're 8-2.
That would make it 22-8 for Anthony Becht as head coach of the Battlehawks. Definitely a culture guy. And this is priming to be the season, the dream season. And that's what we can look forward to next Sunday in the XFL Conference Championship
At
against
5
the
p.m.
DC Defenders.
At 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
What?
Central.
5
Yes, I'm aware.
p.m. Yeah. Well, no, I'm just so excited that I have 9 days until this game. This game is this is the game that we've all been waiting for. This is the game. And I realize that the Panthers and the Stallions, they got their like own game going on, and it's kind of a big deal, and it's whatever. But our game is so much more. Like the stakes are, higher. We're more invested. It was great though, like when they were ending and they were talking about being at St. Louis next week. That we were going to go wild. I will say that I have to admit I was really impressed with the amount of fans that stuck around after all that weather. I mean, I legitimately was impressed.
Leading up to kickoff, there weren't that many people in the stands. Either they were hiding in the concourse or waiting outside. The Quantico Marine Corps band was playing outside before the game as well. They were doing a post-Memorial Day type of celebration. And no, more people were in the crowd after the 45-minute weather delay. That's astounding. You saw the beer snakes in the end zone.
Yeah.
They were putting pressure on Silvers and the offensive line, even got a couple of jumps there before that safety. So honestly, this is probably the number 2 market in the UFL behind St. Louis in terms of engagement,
100%.
in terms of turnout. This is a really good district in DC,
Yes.
the Navy Yard district. A stone's throw away from Fort McNair, by the way. If you did throw a stone there, you would probably get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But no, I'm with you 100% on this. This was a good crowd. A lot of Battlehawks fans in attendance as well. Saw a lot of blue.
I saw that.
Ponchos. It was good.
Yes. No, and I would agree with you. They are definitely right behind us. Well, still a little sliding behind us because you can't really compare to St. Louis with the fan base, but their fan base is dedicated. I have to give them props for that beer snake. I won't say I'm jealous much, but I'm jealous.
They
I'm jealous
have
of
a beer snake code of conduct video they play before the game. Like no throwing cups, no doing all that stuff. It's like, if you regulate fun, is it really fun?
I know, okay. So actually, I'm going to challenge Battlehawk Nation that we need something, besides the cause law, besides cacaw, besides that kind of stuff. Like we're known for all that, but the beer snake is epic. I will give DC that was one of the most ingenious things ever invented. It was like they're in Vegas, but they're in DC. We need something like that.
I forgot to ask Jarvian Howard about his flapping wings celebration on one of his carries. That cracked me up. I love that guy. And we talked a little bit before the game. Kevon as well hung out for a little bit. Coach Becht. No, this was a good experience for our Battlehawks as they improved to 8-2, and they will play the DC Defenders at the Battle Dome for the UFL or the XFL Conference Championship for a ticket to the UFL Championship game, also in St. Louis. We are going to call it. It's 35 minutes. It's past midnight. They turned out the lights upstairs, which was the risk and why I'm down here to begin with. So Judy
Right,
Strawder.
and you need you got to go home. You got to be safe.
Oh yeah,
We got to
that's
have
right.
you in
I've
St.
been
Louis
taught-
next Sunday.
You know, getting stuck on the Metro here in DC and Northern Virginia, not a huge deal. Now, the Metro link in historic St. Louis, and that's a story for another time. We will not have to deal with that tonight. As the final score, the St. Louis Battlehawks 13, the DC Defenders 8. I'm Luke Slabaugh. I love you, St. Louis. That's the #1 Battlehawks fan, Judy Strawder. Judy, I can't give you the heart sign, but please take it away and tell us good night.
8-2, baby.